New on Curiosity Stream.
Just because it hasn't been done before doesn't mean you can't.
Watch Earth's greatest minds forge our path to a better tomorrow. It's engineering the future. And Jaws, Star Wars, The Godfather, E.T. The biggest movies have even bigger music. From King Kong to The Dark Knight. See how musicians scored Hollywood's greatest hits on great film composers' music of the movies. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
As we celebrate 50 years of KISW, check out the Rock Shop, KISW's 50th anniversary merch. It's brand new, and it's there for you. There is a very cool 50th anniversary baseball tee available in the Rock Shop. You know the kind with the gray sleeves?
Three-quarter sleeves. Yeah.
Mariners are actually playing a little baseball today on ESPN. Get ready for baseball season with a brand new KISW baseball shirt. Available now in the Rock Shop at KISW.com. We head to Baldwin County, Alabama for this story. A Gulf Shores woman was arrested on an animal cruelty charge after officials say she took her neighbor's goat and painted it without permission. Can't make this name up. Erica Marie Farmer was arrested for the crime. Farmer also faces a theft of property second charge. According to officials, the theft of any livestock in the state of Alabama, that falls under felony guidelines.
Oh, it should.
So Farmer's bond was set at $6,000. Apparently, according to deputies, Farmer removed the goat from her neighbor's property and brought it to her home to show her child. They say at some point,
a farmer stole a goat?
She decided to paint the animal and post the photos to social media. She decided to paint the goat blue. They say when the goat's owner discovered the animal was missing, they called a different neighbor to ask if they'd seen the goat. At the time, the neighbor said, I saw photos of a painted goat that had been posted on social media. The goat's owner then called authorities. Deputies say the goat was still at the suspect's home when deputies arrived. The blue goat. Our question, I'm very happy not to live with or near someone anymore because of the time they did blank. 206-421-ROCK.
Sounds like a Hardy Boys book. The Hardy Boys and the Blue Goat. Hello, Bob. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hey, guys, it's me again.
Hola.
Hola.
Hey, Bob.
This time, it's what he did and what he didn't do. It's my father.
All right.
First of all, in the mid-'80s, my parents divorced, and he left the state and left his failed business behind, and that foreclosed on the home my mom and me were living in.
Okay.
Second, he married his business partner of the failed business. I talked to him on the phone the day he married her, and he didn't have the, we'll call it courage, to tell me that they got married. Fast forward to 91 when my kidneys failed, didn't see or hear a word from him. Go to 2000 when my sister committed suicide. I saw him in the hospital. Three things could have happened. I could have walked up to him, stuck out my hand, say, "Hey, Dad, it's good to see you." He could have done the same, or we could have ignored each other. We took the third.
You both decided to ignore each other.
Yep.
Okay.
And then also in the past, we found out when we were in junior high that both my parents were previously married. My father walked out on his wife and two daughters and never heard from him again.
Did you know
the history of doing that?
Did you know you had two sisters?
I have two sisters from my mother. I did not know I had two half-sisters.
Okay. Have you ever met them?
No, I have not, because my father never spoke to them when we were speaking. And so they're somewhere on the East Coast. My father, I believe, is still alive in Florida. And I'm out here in Washington.
Okay. I believe
Florida makes sense.
It does. Florida makes sense. I feel like everyone's
alive in Florida. You know? People might be looking for them. It's like, now, if they're in Florida, they're alive.
You know, it's the guy like this. I ain't paying state taxes. Poof. Hell them. I'm paying anything. I ain't giving government.
Florida's like a tropical Alaska.
Right.
In some weird way, it's a place people go to get away. Mm-hmm. But like Alaska, it's like, I'm getting away from everything. Florida, like, well, I still want to be around people. I just want to leave behind whatever my personal problems.
Well, ever whacked I am, the people around me are more messed up than I could ever imagine.
I was going to say, that's been my impression of Florida. Of, like, people I've known there.
Yeah, honestly.
Is like, Miles is exactly right. Like, Yeah, I'm a pretty wild person. Not wild, but I enjoy myself.
Right.
And I met some people. I went to a wedding in Florida, and like half of the family was from Central Florida. And I was
That's different.
like, these people are insane.
Right. I'm not kidding you, man. When I was, my uncle, he enjoys golf probably as much as I do.
All right.
So he's retired. He plays every day. They live in an area where there's not really a housing community or anything like that. It's a bunch of roads and, but people do drive their golf carts on the road and everything else. So my uncle and I are out playing golf, and we're in the middle of this big fairway. And over the hill comes this John Deere four-wheeler. You know what I mean? Like
right.
those bigger tractors. Hauling ass. I mean, hauling ass right at us down the middle of the fairway. Like, and this thing's loud. The big gas thing, you know what I mean? It's meant for, like, riding on the beach if you want.
Right.
It's a big ass. It's got a license plate on the back of it. You take it. It's got lights. This thing is big, right? It's like a big Polaris thing. Right down the goddamn middle of the fairway. And I'm looking at this, and I'm like, Bill, what the hell's this? And these guys pull up, all right, his friends, and they're drinking Busch Light, all right?
Of course they are.
Tall boy, like, hey, Willie, what are you doing, man? We thought we'd come down here and bring you boys a beer. So they hand us both like a 4-pack ring because they drank 2 of them of like Busch Lights and like, here, man. And then they give us like a bottle and we do a swig and a pull out of the bottle. Like, all right, man, we'll see you later on. Then they just turn around and take off and drive right back up the damn middle of the fairway. And that was a normal interaction.
Right. That's how
Like he drove on the goddamn golf course with basically a car with knobby wheels on it. On a country club. A country club. You know, like where you have
but that's Florida.
It's private. You know what I mean? It's just, they don't care.
I went to buy a pack of smokes at a gas station, and they'd closed the inside, so you just have to make a line outside and you go through the little window, right? There's about 6 people in line, and there's a guy who is clearly effed up. I mean, he's like leaning against the side of the gas station. He's getting himself a 6-pack of beer. Whatever. He buys it. They hand him the 6-pack, and I'm already just kind of stunned because usually when you're that effed up, they just go, hey, man, not on us, right? But whatever. It's Florida. I don't care. And this dude looked like a short version of Magnum P.I. Had the solo stash before it was cool again. Had the hair, the Hawaiian shirt, the whole nine. And he had this beat-up red Pontiac Fiero, only one headlight worked. No big deal. And now as I'm looking at his car, because I can't take my eyes off this guy, he's just stumbling and staggering. He's that drunk. He opens the driver's side door, and I'm like, no way this guy's driving. And he gets in, and the car starts up, and his one little headlight pops up. He puts it in reverse. He backs out of the gas station. He goes to the highway. Just keep one thing in mind. He stays in reverse, and he takes off down the highway backwards with traffic. No one even batted an eye. It's just like, next. Like, what about that guy? They're like, I'm like, that's Florida. Anywhere else, people would have like pulled the guy over, stopped the guy, anything. Nobody cares about anything.
We went to this kind of a deck bar place where there was live music.
Of course you did.
That kind of deal. So, but my uncle, he has a golf cart. So we drove his golf cart to the bar, right? And as soon as we get there, this guy, he just starts like walking up, and he doesn't look too disheveled, but he looks a little disheveled, but he was clearly at the bar, right, drinking. So I'm like, all right, this guy wants a cigarette because I'm smoking or whatever the deal is. He goes, hey, man. He goes, I need a favor. And I was like, all right, man, what do you need, a smoke, whatever? He's like, no, man. He's like, I need your help. Can you come over to my car? And I was like, I'm not going over your car, man. I'm like, no, why? I don't know you. You know, he's like, hey, man, I just need you to blow into my blow and go. And I'm like, to be honest with you, man, we've already had like 3 or 4 before we got to the bar.
Yeah.
I mean, we've already been pregame. Like, man, I'm sorry. I am no help. He goes, well, how about your friend? And I'm like, no, he's probably had more than I have. He's like, okay, man, thanks, guys. Just
with your dad?
Just thought I'd ask. That was my uncle.
I love that. How about your friend? Well, it's my uncle, and we had beers together.
Right, exactly. Like, anybody got any clean breath around here? You know anybody?
How many different
I think you're going to
mouths?
have a really hard time finding a sober person in this area of Florida, just so you know.
How many mouths do you think have touched his blow and go?
Now, what if I
Because
did-
that's got to be
No,
his
no,
thing.
Wait, hang on. One more question. What time of day was it?
This is like 4:00 in the afternoon, man. And not only that, but okay, so then I started thinking about it, and I was talking to my uncle about this. I'm like, hey, man, let me ask you a hypothetical, right? So I know damn well what I'm doing. Let's just say that I didn't have anything to drink, right? And I blow into this guy's thing, whatever the hell it is, right? He can start his car. Now, he drives down the road, he crashes into somebody, kills him. That's on my ass.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
Not, man, because if it never came back,
I was just trying to think.
you're already
going to
feel guilty, but if they piece it together, how did he blow and go?
I would have never said yes anyway, but I was just thinking to myself, like, what if I did do that? And then what if this jackass drove down the road and hurt somebody?
That's you, man.
That's what I'm saying. It'd be on me.
I mean, I've seen people do it for people they knew the next morning.
Next morning, and I know you, I might help out. Man,
I don't know this guy.
Well, also, it's just a good rule of thumb. Like, don't blow on things you don't know how.
No, exactly.
Don't wrap your mouth around things.
It's exactly what you think of it. Like, you couldn't see in the car because the tent was that dark. It was just.
I mean, I wouldn't even. It didn't even cross my mind that he could have gone and hurt somebody. To me, I'm just like, that's just a weird thing to ask somebody.
Yeah,
like, just like no.
Like maybe Uber. I am very happy not to live with or near someone anymore because of the time that I did blank. 206-421-ROCK.
I have had on my door once, and we had a roommate, and her boyfriend had been in prison.
Right.
And had just gotten out. And it's like early in the morning. I'm like, what's up, dude? And he's like, this will sound crazy, but I need you to pee in this red cup. And I was like, what? Because I didn't smoke or anything at the time. And he's like, I'm on parole, right?
Probation.
Right. Well, no. What was it when you get out of prison? That's parole.
Parole. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So he's like, I'm on parole. Like, I'm going to blow dirty. And the guy kind of scared me. I was like, yeah, sure, no problem.
Yeah, sure.
Guess he scared you. Hello, Jenny. Welcome to the men's room.
Hello.
Hola.
That sounded cooler in my head. Hello. So I lived with my neighbor. He was really gross. He just left garbage out all the time, and I would just pick it up nicely. I wouldn't say anything. This went on, for 2 years. But then, so then I was pregnant, and there was this awful smell that was coming from his house. It smelled like a dead body. It was horrible. And, I kept texting him, calling him, saying, do you smell this? Like, what is this? People in the neighborhood would walk by and think it was coming from my house, and they didn't know what it was, and so it was really embarrassing.
Smell it.
And so, yeah, it was horrible.
What was it?
Well, apparently a raccoon went into his garage and died. So I don't know why, but anyway, so then after he finds this out, 3 days goes by, and he doesn't do anything. I don't know how we could live in the house with this. Oh, I don't even know. And so, it was so bad, I couldn't go out of my house. I had to shut all the windows, and it was in the summer. And I just was, it was horrible. And so, like I said, 3 days goes by, and then, outside, he has 3 garbage bags outside of, just like on the porch. The driveway. And then 2 more days goes by, and then it starts to ooze down the driveway, like just nastiness.
What color is the ooze?
It was like brownish, red.
Okay, all right.
Gross. And then I was walking with some friends around the neighborhood, and I just decided to be nice again, and I took the garbage bags, and there was 3, so I took 2, and that was fine, and I put those in my trash can, and then I go to the 3rd one, and I start to pick it up, and I look down, thousands of maggots come out, and there's, oh my gosh, and I just start crying. I was like, I can't take this anymore. And I called the HOA and complained, but they were like, we can't do anything. You have to call the health department.
Well, they're right.
And yeah.
So did you call the health department?
No.
So
they put you on hold for too long. 3 days later,
you broke into tears, started crying. I can't take it anymore. They said, call the health department. You're like, yeah.
Well, the people we were with, they were nice, and they took the garbage, the maggot, and the maggot garbage, and they went to the dump, and they dumped it for him. And the guy never said thank you, paid for the dump whatever, nothing. And
Are you shocked by that?
So, no.
Okay,
Yeah,
I wouldn't
okay,
be.
so-
I wouldn't be.
All of this emotion about that you call the health department? No. Were you shocked by it? No.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't.
Yeah, it's just gross.
It is. I don't know. Some people can live like that. I'm not one of them. I don't know how it's done, man. Anytime, if anything died, even in proximity to the house, it was, you kids need to go find what it is and get rid of it.
Yeah, and just the trash thing. Like, look, I'm not going to lie. Sometimes there's a dish that needs to marinate. I mean, soak.
All right.
In the sink for 3 days. But, like, ooh, trash.
Yeah, trash, man. Just get it out. Just the dog's a big help on that.
I'm very happy not to live with or near someone anymore because of the time that they did blank. 206-421-ROCK.
Here's a lovely comment about family. Says, "Hola, guys. I love my sister, but I'm so happy I don't live with her. She has IBS, for those of you who don't know, irritable bowel syndrome, which is fine and usually isn't a problem. But when you walk around your home with only a nightshirt on and no undergarments, it can be a problem. IBS can hit you with no warning. So let's just say she had more than one accident in the house. Floor, carpet, couch, etc. If she would wear an adult diaper or some other protection, it would greatly help with the unexpected accidents. Have a good day."
Damn it. We head to Florida. An ex-con is back behind bars after she allegedly struck her male roommate in the face with a Pear's cat, according to the arrest report. Police say that Wendy Hurd and the 73-year-old victim were involved in a verbal argument late Sunday evening in Largo, Florida, when the dispute turned violent. Hurd, cops say, took their cat and threw it on the victim's face, causing the cat to scratch the victim's face. Hurd then followed up the feline attack by striking the man and punching him repeatedly in the face. Victim suffered injuries during the incident, for which Hurd was arrested on domestic battery. Hurd is being held in the county jail in lieu of $4,000 bond. Her rap sheet includes an assortment of convictions for crimes like theft, battery, drunk driving, possession of drug paraphernalia, prostitution, probation violations, and following a 2005 conviction for battery on a law enforcement officer, Hurd spent 5 years in a state prison. She had previously served a year in prison for escaping from police custody. Our question, I am very happy not to live with or near someone anymore because of the time they did blank. 206-421-ROCK.
New on Curiosity Stream.
Just because it hasn't been done before doesn't mean you can't.
Watch Earth's greatest minds forge our path to a better tomorrow. It's engineering the future. And Jaws, Star Wars, The Godfather, E.T. The biggest movies have even bigger music. From King Kong to The Dark Knight. See how musicians scored Hollywood's greatest hits on great film composers' music of the movies. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
Oh, drat. I was driving along minding my own business when that vulgar leech hit my Beamer with his pickup truck. I fear I've fractured my clavicle.
I say, old boy, don't simply put it in the hands of your insurance company to sort it out. Talk with the dedicated road solicitors at the Advocates Law Firm.
Pipe down, you old sod. The Advocates will see your case through to the bitter end and won't sleep a fortnight until they have victory in their grasp.
Jolly good, old man. Jolly good indeed. You get injured, the Advocates get results. AdvocatesLaw.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
The men's room is in progress. 99.9 KISW and KISW HD1 Seattle.
Authorities in Virginia say that a man has been arrested for dousing his brother with kerosene and tried to light him on fire. Jesus. Martinsville Bulletin reported Monday that Larry Darnell Tatum and Patrick Springs had been charged with attempted first-degree murder. Patrick County Sheriff Detective and Deputy Dan Smith said Tatum was arrested late Friday night and jailed without bond after an altercation between him and his brother, Ricky Tatum. Police had received a 911 call before responding to the house. Authorities said that Larry allegedly poured kerosene on his brother and made attempts to ignite the kerosene and set him on fire. The investigation is continuing. Our question, I am very happy not to live with or near someone anymore because of the time they did blank. 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Dave. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bitches.
Hola.
So, about 20 years ago, I was living out in Denver, and I was in an apartment complex on the 3rd floor. And out there, everything's enclosed, not like it is here. So in order to go to my back room, wall neighbor, you have to go down 3 flights of stairs, through the laundry room, back up. So 4 o'clock on Sunday morning, my wall starts shaking, and the base is just banging the wall.
Yeah, baby.
And I'm thinking, what am I going to do? I can't sleep. I want to sleep. And I called the apartment manager. They're like, well, we don't have anybody to tell them to shut it off. You got to call the cops. I don't want to call the cops on the neighbors. So I get out of bed, down 3 flights of stairs, through the laundry room, back up 3 flights of stairs. I'm a little upset by the time I get there, pound on the door. This little feller with a do-rag opens the door with a machine gun and tells me to stop pounding on his door.
Did you tell him all you wanted was to turn the bass down?
That's exactly what I said, because by that time, I didn't care he was going to shoot me or not. I just wanted to go back to sleep.
And what is his response? Does he turn it down?
Oh, yeah, he was cool. Apologetic. Yeah, let me turn that down for you. But don't be pounding on my door with a little submachine gun kind of deal.
All right, that's good times.
I like that guy's style, though.
Yeah.
Like, look, man, you pound on my door again, I'll shoot you. But you should know, I feel bad for cranking my music. A brother needs to sleep. I apologize.
I'll turn it down.
Don't ever hit my door again.
I'm very happy not to live with or near someone anymore because of the time they did blank. 206-421-ROCK.
Here's a comment I can kind of relate, but it says, I had a roommate that would beat it like he caught it breaking into the house, loudly grunting, big finishes, the Pavarotti of Punching the Clown. We lived in a one-room dorm.
Oh, no.
That's the worst.
No.
Like, hey, man, sir, I'm not trying to ruin your vibe. You got to stop.
But you can't be that good at it.
Well, I mean, you're good for yourself, man.
But still.
I'll rate my hand 100%. It's like a 5-star rating right here. It does not let me down.
Yeah, I've heard stories like that before.
But just hearing the roommate console. I used to have a guy, one of the roommates, you couldn't hear him masturbate, but this dude, if that guy was the Pavarotti of Punching the Clown, this guy's like Houdini. How quickly he could do things. I'm literally leaving our place. Our place is a rented home. We're on the bottom floor. I walk out, and when I leave, he is reading a book on the living room couch. Just understand that. He's reading a book on the living room couch. No big deal. I walk outside. As soon as I step outside, I go, crap, I forgot my key. Turn around, the door's already locked. No big deal. Walk half a block down, jump through my bedroom window. I grab my key, walk right back into the hall, walk right back to the living room where the front door is. This man that was fully clothed reading a book when I left 45 seconds ago is now, with the exception of a blue terry cloth robe, completely naked. His berries are hanging under it. His book is now upside down in his hand, and the TV, which was not on when I left, again, 45 seconds ago, was now showing snow, and obviously there's a pause in the VCR.
He was waiting for you to leave.
He got to Jack in the like instantly. Like as soon as I closed the door, he like just ripped off his clothes and started going. It's like, God damn, like you can't just wait. You know, well, no one doing anything. Yeah.
Somebody told me a story about their roommate in college, and it's like, are you really doing that? Yeah, man. And just was like, yeah, whatever.
See, I couldn't fight through that. You want to ruin it for me, just say something.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I'm at your house. Like, I'm done. All right, not even going to be down in a minute. I'm just done. Hello, Chris. Welcome to the men's room.
Thank you.
Hola.
Hola. So I live up in Skagit County in a rural area, road with what you might call a holler back in West Virginia.
All right.
So a valley with the road at the bottom, houses on the top. You can hear everything everybody says, all that kind of stuff. Don't leave your window open if you're having sex. Like, you know, you can hear everything. And but that wasn't the issue. The neighbors across in the nice single wide up there decided that starting about 10 o'clock in the night in the summer, they would drive up into the hills and loot log landings and get wood to come back and sell. And so by about midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, their trucks are just screaming up this steep driveway, spinning out, rah, 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 you know, and then they get the generator going and start sawing logs with their chainsaws all through the night until the morning. And so much so that one of the neighbors came around with a petition saying, you know, can't we get the sheriff to do something about this? And the answer was no, because every time the sheriff came up, they had a lookout and they'd shut the lights off and everything and had a locked gate. And, this went on for 3 or 4 months, and it was kind of
Were they? What do you think? Were they stealing timber?
Yeah,
stealing from themselves.
They were going up to old log landings or whatever, and probably stealing whatever they could find that was sellable as firewood, which is, you can do that if you have a permit and all this kind of stuff. But they definitely,
yeah, they had a permit, all right.
Did anyone confront them directly?
No, well, that was kind of the thing.
Yes. Hold on for 1 second here.
Once again, bedroom callers, here are the 7 words you can't say on the radio. Sucker, mother, and please keep those words in mind when calling. Now, back to the program.
Where in West Virginia did you say this was?
Skagit County.
This is Skagit County.
Oh.
I just was referring to the hauler as
I see. I understand.
You, Miles, as something that I understand happens out there.
So how long did you move away? Did they just stop? Did they move? What happened?
So, no, I'm still here. This is probably about 5-6 years ago. And, nope, just one day, done. Like, gone. Dead cars in the driveway, still gate locked. But no more chainsaws at 3 a.m.
So they're still there, but they've stopped their operation.
Or, yes, but
They
apparently.
probably moved on to meth if they're up all night cutting wood.
I mean,
right.
All right, let me ask you this, though. One of the things you pointed out, you said just, don't even have sex with your window open there. Everyone can hear everything.
Right.
Can you identify which neighbor is having sex just based on the sounds they make?
Well.
Larry's getting it again.
Yeah, and then there's also neighbors. There's a neighbor that has exotic animals, so they have weird emus and things like that, and they have those screaming goats.
Oh,
so
God.
that's also going on, too. You can hear that. Sometimes it sounds like a child in distress, and it's like, oh, just the neighbor's goat.
Where are you? Do you mind me asking, what town were you in?
Just outside of Mount Vernon.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, I dated a girl that lived up in Snohomish County, and for whatever reason,
I used to call her the Screaming Goat.
Ted, would you like to recommend a bar for him?
In Mount Vernon?
Yeah.
Yes. God damn it, Miles. Well, yeah, I go to draft picks if I'm in Mount Vernon.
Do you ever go there?
Yeah, I spent plenty of time at draft picks, but I would recommend Cats on the west side. Cats West Side Stories.
All right.
Perfect, awesome Gen X bar, karaoke, live night, bingo, all that stuff.
All the stuff you need.
Yeah, I always like draft
to
picks
escape the meth heads and the emus, It's regular everyday stuff.
They got a pop a shot and a claw machine. That's all you need to bring me in.
By the way, that guy's life sounds awful. I mean,
but that's not that unheard of in those areas, which is weird because I remember she knew somebody that lived on property that was part of a logging road, and we would camp there sometimes. And he's right, middle of the night, people just come rallying up these old logging roads, and I'm like, what is going on? And I wouldn't say terrible place, but when I lived on Charles Street wasn't the best neighborhood.
Those are horrible. Mm-hmm. You were one block away from.
That's a lot of Baltimore.
If people are going up logging roads at 1 a.m. or whatever, that was one of the. I legit was a little scared. I was like, I don't understand what's going on. I don't get these people.
I know the people are crazy. I can deal with that. I think what would drive me is screaming goats.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, you're out there because you want to be out in the middle of nowhere. You don't want to be able to hear your neighbors have sex or goats screaming.
I mean, so what's the trade-off, right? You can say, look, you live in the city and you hear gunshots and cops going by and just people pooping in your yard and all that. Or, right, you can have all the space, but you got to listen to your neighbors screaming goats. I mean, to me, it's the same goddamn thing in the end.
At least they have property.
Right.
I don't mind.
You're going to take care of all that crap with screaming goats.
No, but I'm just saying, I don't mind living in apartments or condos or whatever, but I would have a hard time living that far outside of a major city
and
having an apartment or a condo.
Yeah, F that.
I'm very happy not to live with or near someone anymore because of the time they did blank. 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Ray. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bitches.
Hola.
All right, so
about 10 years ago, I was living with this Russian chick, and I know this is going to shock you guys, but when she drank, she tended to get a little crazy. So,
it's not just Russian.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's around the world. And not just women, everyone.
But in Russia, we don't mind it meat.
Yeah, right? Did she get mean?
Over the years, I've acquired some antique things. I'm not really a collector, but one of the things I really prized was this 17th century indentured servant document. It was like a contract. So anyway,
was this passed down through the family, or you just came, or it's something you came upon? I think it's a very important distinction.
No, I actually got it. I got it on the West Coast from an older gentleman I did some work for, and he just gave me that in lieu of the work.
Okay.
But anyway, we're having a few drinks. She's getting kind of too rowdy, so I turn in. I get up the next morning to go to work, and among other of my belongings, this thing is laying in the driveway in the pouring rain. I tried to pick it up, and it was so wet that, the biggest piece I could pick up was like a postage stamp size, so it was total loss.
Why was she, what did you find out what happened?
She was one of those ladies that the next day, she would have no recollection of anything that happened the night before.
So you never found out why she took it outside. You just know she did. Now it's destroyed. It's gone.
Well, it was just a minor argument, but yeah, when she drank, she just got totally out of control.
Okay, and I guess that's the reason you're probably not together anymore.
You got it, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a heavy one, man. It's like my father would always say. Like my brother and I would get in a fight or something, and we would break something of ours. And he's like, "Yeah, like you don't have a job, you're not get another one. Deal with it." We broke something of his once, not intentionally. Trust me,
Obviously.
The fight ended when we realized we were both like, oh my God, he's going to kill us. I remember he looked at us and just said, remember this for the rest of your life. I don't care if you break everything you own. That's on you. If you ever break something of mine again, I will kill you. It was never a problem again.
I'm very happy not to live with or near someone anymore because of the time that they did blank. 206-421-ROCK.
By the way, somebody here says, goats are nothing. My neighbor across the street had a donkey for like 3 years. I live in Snohomish. They are loud, but based on my interaction with Pokey, sorry, man, I got a salsa. I'm an apologist for donkeys. What do you want? Hello, Don. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bichola.
Hola.
So check this out. 2 years ago, New Year's Eve. Actually, it was New Year's morning because it was after midnight, 2 a.m. I'm coming home from a local bar. I'd only had a couple drinks all day long. So anyhow, I get within a block of my house, and this guy comes running out towards the street, flailing his arms like an orangutan, yelling and shouting, F you this, you tried to run me over. And I'm thinking to myself, well, if you kept your butt out of the road, you wouldn't have to worry about people running you over. But I didn't say anything to him and went home. Pulled my truck up in the driveway, go in the house. Well, come to find out, well, let me finish that portion first. So I'm in the kitchen making something to eat. All of a sudden, there's this thunderous crash. I thought a car hit the house. So the dogs go running towards the bedroom. I answer the front door, and here's two guys standing at my front door, one of them with a steel pipe raised over his head that apparently he banged on my front door with. So I answer the door. Here he is with the steel pipe. F me, and I tried to run him over. I drew my 9mm. Fortunately, I had it on my hip. Otherwise, he probably would have come through the door because as he was about to, telling his brother, oh, he won't pull the trigger, his brother grabs about his shoulder and yanked him back. Well, my weapon, the safety is the trigger, okay? It's a Smith & Wesson 9mm. That his brother winds up yanking him off the property. So they leave. I go back in the house, and I'm looking for my phone to dial 911. Well, I left it in my truck. So I go back out the door. I've got the 9 draw and, alert position. I get to my truck. Both front windows are broken out. So I dial 911. They take the information. I'm on the line with the operator. I tell her about 15, 20 minutes after waiting for the cops, hey, I'm going to take my cell phone and my camera, go down the road. If I see these guys, I'm going to get a picture or get some direction of where they're headed. So she tells me instantly, do you still have your weapon on you? I says, yeah. She goes, make sure and keep it at home. I'm like, okay, cool. So I go and I lock it up in the safe. Come back out, sweep the glass off the driver's seat. I get into the truck. I didn't get 50 yards. I backed out of my driveway, didn't get 50 yards. 2 flashlights are on me. And I'm like, who in the F is flashing their light at me? Cops. I'm like, oh, okay. So I, pull over, put it in park. They're telling me keep my hands on the steering wheel, all the stuff. Because they apparently got a call from these guys.
That you were going to shoot him and kill him.
Well, yeah, that I had a weapon and that I had followed them down the street. Plus the one individual who threatened that I tried to run him over, apparently told the police that I tried to run him over 3 times. Now, this is a windy hillside with very sharp turns. I drive an F-250 Ford, so it's not like I'm going to be rally racing to get home in this big old Ford. So I wind up being hauled to jail.
They took you to jail?
I spent 38 days in jail because this kid said I tried to run him over 3 times. And after I'm still out on bail right now. I was facing 3 felony charges, 1 for vehicular assault 2nd degree, 1 for weapons assault 2nd degree, and 1 for verbal assault against an officer because the report the officer put in that I mentioned I would try and kill him and his family and so forth. Well, I was raised, my dad was an LA County Sheriff for 30 years. My grandfather retired California Highway Patrol. I even in the military and was a reserve officer in my day. I'm 62 years old now.
So let me ask you this. Did you retain an attorney?
Yeah, I've got a public defender. So far in the past, it still has yet to go through trial.
Well, hey, then I would stop talking.
2 years I've been waiting.
Yeah. Stop talking. I hear you. I even believe you. But if you haven't gone to trial yet, I would keep all of these thoughts to myself. Honestly. I mean, instead of going, look, I'm just looking out for you, bro.
That's why I'm not giving a location or any other further detailed information on it. I'm just saying, this is something I'm still facing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, it sucks, man, but I won't cut them off. Just stop. I'm trying to help you, man. I'm not being mean, but if I have not gone to trial yet, I certainly am not going on a radio station sharing anything. Doesn't even matter if I'm telling the truth or not.
Don't do a podcast either.
Don't do it, man.
I am very happy not to live with or near someone anymore because of the time they did blank. 206-421-ROCK.
As Ted always says, when they say you have the right to remain silent, do.
Yeah. For real, right? Like you're still on bail?
Right, man. Just keep it to yourself. Let the trial figure it out.
And you might want to look at a lawyer.
Yeah, lawyer. Hello, Madison. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola. So I was living in LA going to college, and I had a roommate who my dad was like, oh, yeah, he's a good guy. You can take over my room while I'm out of town and then, just be the roommate. And he didn't tell me that this guy was OCD and passive aggressive.
Well, that would have ruined the fun.
So that had to break you into moving to Seattle.
Yeah, had to escape LA for that.
Okay.
But, there'd be things like if I forgot to empty out every single piece of the laundry lint out of the dryer, he would take it and sprinkle it over my dishes.
What?
If I left a drop of water on the counter in the kitchen after washing my dishes, he would hide my dishes from me. He had his own set of dishes that he would keep in one of those little, drying racks and take to his room. And his alarm clock would go off at every meal. So we would call it the parade of dishes. He would bring all of his dishes into the kitchen, have his Lipton instant noodle stuff with hot dogs in it for every meal. I mean, the guy was just so OCD and crazy and would only communicate in passive aggressive notes.
How hot were you for this guy?
He's my husband now.
Yeah, exactly.
How long
married? 20 years.
How long did you have to live with this guy?
I was there for about 9 months, and it was to the point where I had early morning college classes that unfortunately I had to flunk out of because I couldn't get up to go use the kitchen in the morning because he'd be in there.
Is it because he forbade you or you just didn't want to interact with him?
we would have screaming matches, and he would just be so conniving and manipulative,
Okay.
and like the kind of person who just picks your argument apart.
All right. Whatever became of this gentleman?
So I mean, I was in my early 20s, and he was in his 40s. I think he's living by himself now. I think he's
Probably a good
somewhere
idea.
in Seattle, actually.
Oh, okay. Well, he blends.
But yeah, it was just like the worst roommate situation I've ever had. And living in LA, I've had some really crap ones, but I had like PTSD after that.
Sounds like it, man.
This guy sounds creepier than OCD. You know what I mean? Like, that sounds like a guy that shows up on Silence of the Lambs.
I am very happy not to live with or near someone anymore because of the time they did blank. We've got your emails coming up next in the men's room at KISW.com.